Really? Did you not think I was going to give my response? What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. I have another video gonna come out this day, and if it's going to go off like I see it in my head, it'll turn out pretty good. If it doesn't, I'm still gonna upload it. But and it's not gonna be a wrestling related video. Sorry, wrestling fans. But okay, me and Wrestling for Fans, we agree on actually a lot of things, and we disagree on a lot of things. He just uploaded a video called "Is there something wrong with this picture?" And before I begin, I'm gonna say this. WWE got me into the world of professional wrestling, got me a fan of the business. But before I get into all that, I am going to answer your question in one name. It's not Shane. It's definitely not Triple H. It's Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Because you and I both know, Wrestling for Fans, that creative can have all these ideas and they're just throwing stuff at the wall, but the final say is the old man, who is out of touch. He is really out of touch. The only booking that I can say that actually made any sort of sense was the Attitude Era. And even then, there were some booking decisions that Vince made that were questionable. And even when I watch, well, I can't watch the WWE product because I don't have cable at the moment. Which I will be so glad when I get to watch SmackDown, because it comes on, because it moves over to Fox in October. Yay for me. I look at the WWE in two separate entities. You have your main roster, and you have Triple H's baby NXT. You'll also have 205 Live and everything like that. But I'm just going to focus on the main roster in NXT. Because NXT is way better than the main roster. That's something me and you can agree on. Now, where, oh where has the mirror on the wall, where has the WWE gone? Or maybe yet, or better yet, mirror on the wall, who's the greatest professional wrestling company of them all? That's AEW. However, I don't. It's just me, but you did make a good point. All Out sold out in record time again. All In sold out in less than 30 minutes. And WWE still has their stomping ground pay-per-view coming up this weekend, and they still have 50% of their tickets not sold. You know, and I'm going to agree with this. Wrestling for fans. Do I see Cody selling out a football field? Yes. Do I see it in 2 years or less? At the rate they're selling out, 2 years or less, yes, I do. But you can only keep up that momentum for so long. I mean, I'll say this much. WWE hasn't given us a major storyline ever since 2010. They haven't given us a shock value ever since Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker to break his streak at WrestleMania 30. WWE has gotten complacent. Ever since Vince bought out all the territories, because let's face it, he had the money. He had the money to do so, and a lot of the territories were on their last legs anyway. Ever since Vince McMahon bought out WCW and ECW, which wasn't much of a buyout because Vince and Paulie were working together. Yeah, shocker, right? No. WWE is, and I've said this one time before. Used to every professional wrestler, whether you were on the indies or whether you were in WCW or ECW, you would always try to get to the WWE because the WWE was the big dog in town. No pun intended to Roman Reigns. They were the end-all be-all. Vince needs to step down. Vince, I think, Vince needs to step down, but I don't think Vince's ego will let him. Vince McMahon put titles on himself, and he wasn't as bad as Vince Russo, because at least when Vince, let's see, he won the WWF title in 99 on SmackDown, beat Triple H, relinquished the title the same night on Raw. Well, not the same night, but the next night on Raw. Then in 2006, Vince put the ECW title on himself, which he lost it to Bobby Lashley. Vince's ego is what's going to be Vince's downfall. Because Vince still thinks that the WWE is the end-all be-all. The biggest wrestling company ever. And he's right on that. However, Vince is... I'll give you an example. I watched a video, I believe it was last week, where Stone Cold Steve Austin from what I understand and from what Wrestling for Fans told me, is that Stone Cold is going to interview people like AEW personnel or something like that. And Vince was furious. Sure, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a Vince McMahon creation, but it's not like Vince McMahon has used Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, there was Raw 25. There was WrestleMania 30. And there were sporadic appearances here and there over the years. JR. Okay. Here's the kicker. JR is the greatest wrestling announcer ever since Gordon Solie. I will go that far. Because Gordon Solie was great in his day. He was the voice of Florida Championship Wrestling. And JR... let's see, the last match he called for WWE was, I believe, at Raw 25. I think the greatest call, well, not greatest call, but I think the most inspirational coming back that he ever did for WWE was at it was when Taker took on Roman. JR called that match. What made it so inspirational for me is just seeing him there because he lost his wife, Jan. The love is the love of his life. And I really think he needed that. I don't think he would have been able to stay home. So I do commend Vince for letting JR call that match. However, one of the reasons why he was so rusty at All Out, not All Out, but Double or Nothing, was simply because he hadn't called a match in over a year. And Vince had pretty much locked him out of doing his voiceover dates for Japan, and that's why he was really unhappy with WWE. He even went as far as to say he was not going to re-sign a contract, and I completely understand. This video has gone on long enough. Vince McMahon is the problem with WWE. There's no ifs, there's no maybes, there's no buts. Vince McMahon is the problem. When you look at past wrestling companies, there were authority figures that were the problem. Only problem with Vince is that he doesn't know when to give up the reins. I mean, we know Triple H can book. We've seen his booking in NXT. If he brings that same booking style to the main roster, WWE could turn a corner. But as long as Vince McMahon's in control, I don't see it happening. I'm Hardcore Christopher. I may be a WWE fan. Well, I may be a WWE fan. But I'm more of a wrestling fan now than a die-hard WWE fan. That's my feelings. Wrestling for fans, I know you just did a video, but I really like your response to mine. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone, and WWE needs to do something soon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to go show everybody that I usually name love. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.